Along with FM 99.9 at this time, we have our news at 3 p.m.
Good afternoon and welcome to WEFM's 3 p.m. news. I am your presenter, Rajiv Providence. First, on the local scene, the family of a 91-year-old Vincentian man who was murdered in the United Kingdom last month says they are still trying to come to terms with his death. In a statement published by the Thames Valley Police on Sunday, the family of John Bracken Sr. remembered him as a lovely, bubbly gentleman. Bracken had been living in the UK since the early 1960s and he was a father of 5 children. He was also a grandfather and great grandfather. Bracken worked for many years as a stoker at William Hand's Furniture and also in maintenance before his retirement. UK media reported that Bracken died at the hospital a week after he was viciously attacked by a burglar who entered his Buckinghamshire home on November 19th. He was robbed of £250. Police have arrested Andrew Francis, 46, of West Wycombe Road, High Wycombe, in connection with the crime. Two fishing vessels were officially handed over to their new owners on Friday, December 2nd, 2022, during a brief ceremony at the Kingston Fish Market. This handing over signaled the formal deployment of the fleet expansion program, of which the recipients are now the first beneficiaries. Minister of Agriculture, Forestry, Fisheries, Rural Transformation, Industry and Labour, Saboto Caesar, said that it is the government's aim to ensure that the program succeeds and every effort will be made to accommodate those who want to be involved. Minister Caesar also noted that efforts will be focused on developing a local boat building industry, and in this regard, the minister said that a company based in Trinidad and Tobago is already in the process of leasing a facility to begin a local boat building outlet, where they are expected to produce pirogues that will meet the required specifications for the local market. Still on the local scene, the 2022 National Lottery's Christmas 9 Mornings Festival was officially launched on Sunday, December 4th at Heritage Square. Cultural Officer Maxine Brown was present at the launch and called on Vincentians to do their part in preserving the tradition of 9 mornings, saying that each person can contribute in their own way. We hear more from Miss Brown.
It is indeed a grand occasion where we officially launch our unique Vincentian tradition, our culture, our folklore, our custom, 9 mornings. 9 mornings is uniquely ours. And so every December from the 16th to the 24th, we celebrate what's truly ours. And tonight, I want to implore you to take a stance. Do your part to ensure that 9 mornings live on and on and on from generation to generation. But you have to do your part. You can do your part in simple ways. You can donate what you have. You can donate big if you have plenty, and you can donate a small amount if you don't have much. Just give back and lend a helping hand.
That was Cultural Officer Maxine Brown speaking at the launch of the 2022 National Lottery's Christmas 9 Mornings Festival. The festival was briefly interrupted in 2020 and 2021 due to the COVID-19 pandemic and the devastation of the La Sifraya volcano. On to news in the region. An investigation has been launched following an incident at a bar in which a British national was killed and several others were injured in St. Lucia when masked gunmen opened fire at the establishment late Saturday. According to St. Lucian police reports, Donnie McKinnon, who manages the Soufriere estate on the island, was on the balcony of Steve's bar along with his friend Peter Jackson, a 72-year-old photographer, when the gunmen approached. McKinnon succumbed to his injuries, while Jackson, who has been living in St. Lucia for approximately 30 years, has been admitted to the hospital. It is also reported that other persons were injured. The police have assured the public that a statement on the status of the investigation will be released shortly. The United States Congressional Black Caucus, CBC, has elected two Caribbean American congressional representatives to top positions for the 118th U.S. Congress. The CBC elected Trinidadian American Stephen Horsford, who represents Nevada's 4th Congressional District as chair, and the Jamaican American Yvette D. Clarke, who represents New York's 9th Congressional District as first vice chair. Both will be sworn in when the new session of the U.S. Congress begins in January, and along with other Black congressional representatives, were elected for a 2-year term. And finally, on the international scene, a landslide on a road in the province of Risaralda in western Colombia has killed at least 3 people and buried dozens more. A bus full of passengers was among several vehicles buried under mud and rocks, which tumbled down a hillside following heavy rains. One of the passengers helped his wife and 2 children escape from the bus before he was buried and died. Rescuers are using heavy machinery to try to dislodge the mud. The landslide happened in the early hours of Sunday morning on the road leading to the northern province of Chocó. Witnesses said an intercity bus, a jeep, and a motorbike had stopped on the road because of a car accident further ahead when part of the hillside collapsed upon top of them. The bus is thought to have had 2 drivers and 25 passengers on board. This has been WEFM's 3 p.m. news. I have been your presenter, Rajiv Providence. Join us again at 5:30 for WEFM's